Hello everybody, Patrick Glenn Nichols, Muscle Car Barn Finds, and today I've got a really good treat for you. 3 muscle cars up here in Connecticut are coming up for sale. One of them being a really rare 1967 SS427 Impala, the Z24 option. Those of you that are Impala enthusiasts will understand only 2,124 of those were ever assembled. This being a really nice, fully matching engine, trans, rear axle, and totally original interior, a really nice car. The car has been painted, but it is really a nice survivor type car, kind of a single repaint survivor, fully matching driveline. Really cool SS427 Impala, built at the Janesville, Wisconsin assembly plant. And right beside you, of course, is my expertise. You know, what I love the most, what I normally authenticate all across the nation is a 1970 Chevelle. This car is a SS396 car, an automatic. It was born really cool, a very unique blue, Astro blue, with a dark blue vinyl top with blue cloth interior, automatic on the column, 350 horsepower with air conditioning. It is now, of course, the super sought after, highly desirable, the resale red that everybody looks for. Of course, my favorite color is the red. So the car it will be attractive to some people, and some people like the originality. So you could go either way with the 70 Chevelle. A person could put that car back to blue with a blue vinyl and blue interior and blue cloth interior and restore it that way, or leave it as is and have a great time. And then the other car that you can see on the other side of the 67 Impala is a 1973 Dodge Challenger. Of course, that's not my expertise, but this is a very cool car. There is some documentation with the car. It was born E5 red. It looks orange now, but the car was born red. It's a little faded paint, but it is a really nice car. I had a chance to get in that car and drive it a little bit, a little automatic 318. I'm not sure you'd really consider it a muscle car, but it is definitely a Dodge Challenger. Most everybody would agree, just about every Dodge Challenger, you could pretty well classify that car as a muscle car as well, being a V8 Challenger. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to start out with this really cool 67 Impala, go around all 3 cars the best I can, and show you the best information. Like I said, I won't be able to go really in depth with any one of these cars, but I do want to show you all 3 of these cars the best way that I can, in order for any potential buyer that wants to purchase one of these cars to be able to contact the owners and myself. I will be a point of contact because I have checked these cars out. So I will be providing service and answering questions or any pictures that a potential buyer may need on these cars for the owners now. I have been hired to assist them with this sale of these 3 muscle cars, but they will be dealing and handling with the listing of these cars on social media or on the internet or where they so choose, but my contact information will be there as well. So here we go. Right off the bat, I want to show you some of the documentation that is with this 67 Impala, some of the older pictures. This is one of the gentlemen, the previous owner, and you can see the really cool Bolero red example, which everybody knows red is pretty much my favorite on a muscle car, and this being a Bolero red Impala, to me this will be, you know, the cream of the crop if you like 67 Impalas. Some older photos here of the car, and there's some more, you know, details and documentation, some other photos of the car. The owner at one point was really into buying accessories, the GM accessories, and this car now it has 2 tachs. It was born with Tach and Gauges, but it also has the accessory version as well, which I will show you in these 67 custom feature optional accessories. You can see right here, you can see the rear speakers. He purchased that. He purchased the front and rear speaker multiplex Delco stereo tape player. He added that to the Impala. Let's see, what else do we have here in these accessories? No, I don't think he bought that. No luggage mat. Okay, so he had these mirrors on the car at one time. They have been filled in and painted over, and this custom tachometer is on the dash as well, which I will show you, along with the factory Tach and Gauges in the dash. And there's some other literature that goes with this car as well. Really nice 67 Z24 SS427 car right here. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this. I'm not real sure how many of these cars of the 2124 exist. A person could really get on the Impala forums and really research and find out just how many authentic examples exist. This car does retain the IE engine with the VIN stamp on the engine as well. So I will go around this car now and show you some of those features. Really cool, which I like the 427 above the cross flag, which is factory on this car. Really, really neat. And if you can look right in here, you might see a little bit where he had mounted those lights at one time. Right there, there's that custom accessory roller type tachometer. I'm not sure most Impala enthusiasts may understand, but these three grills here, at one time, I do believe they were the initial invention. The reason that was put on these Impalas, I believe at one point they had plans that they were going to put a tri-power on these 427 cars at one point, but I believe that that option was canceled and it never did happen, but the hood still remains. Really neat hood with those three grills. So let's look under the hood here. Again, this is a numbers matching engine. There has been some freshening up under the hood, but it's really, really clean and nice. The engine has been totally rebuilt. The specs were over there on the table of the dyno. Made somewhere around up close to 400 horsepower. Of course, they were rated at 385. This is the oval port hydraulic cam version. Really neat 427 Impala. I try to focus on this stamp like I normally do so I can give you an idea. I think that's Tonawanda 0503 IE, and then the last of the VIN 7 for 67, J for Janesville, Wisconsin 253906. Of course, that matches the VIN on this car. So real quick, we'll go over the cow tag, which I normally do on just about every car that I video. So if we can get this out of the way for just a second. Okay, so we got the second week of May, 67 168 87, which will be the two-door Impala big car, JAN for Janesville, Wisconsin. 7187 will be the body number. And we got 813B for the black bucket seat interior, red for Bolero red upper and Bolero red lower, 2 for Group 2, L for M20 Manual Transmission, and 4 Group 4D. That's what you look for on these 67 Impalas, the 4D cars. Then that means it is equipped with the SS427 Z24 package. Really neat car. So let's go around into the interior now. I'll get some shots of all around the car if we can, but I can show you. You can see the Tach and Gauges in the really nice original interior. None of this stuff has been recovered. All original interior, and it just has that feel and that look. And you can see those accessory items that he added. You see the tape player. I believe that's a tissue dispenser over there under the glove box. And the car came with tilt steering. Really neat. I will start this car right quick because I know all of my fans always ask about that. You can see the clock works. Really neat. It's not the original definitely really healthy. You know, some of the things you can tell on a car that's been repainted, you can see there's red paint on some of the fender bolts and so forth and so on, which would be incorrect on a car that it was had original paint. So you can tell that it definitely has been repainted, but generally a all original car in a lot of ways. Real similar to what we consider a single repaint car. And I believe that's all this car ever has had, is just a single repaint. All of the glass is original, dated to the car. Give you a few shots of the back end. Really neat. Of course, you know, those tailpipe exhaust extensions, those are not factory, those were added. But you can see the original appearance of the finish on the correct chrome. It's not overdone. It's the correct finish. Let's look in the trunk and show you the original Redline tire. Spare. And it has some black floor mats as well. Give you a couple shots of this really cool Uniroyal Redline tire and jack with this really nice. You can see under the deck lid, I do believe is the original red still. It's an aftermarket or a reproduction positive traction sticker. On this side, the car does not have positive traction, so I don't know why that would even be there. The code on the rear axle is 307. It's a EM code, 307 open. So there is not a positive traction rear axle in this car. It is a 12-bolt EM code, which I've had it on a rack and I've checked it out. It is E for Earl, M for say Monday, EM code 307, 12-bolt. Still in the car, the Born With drivetrain. And the M20 transmission is in the car as well, dated early, I think the 7th day of May, something like that. And the beautiful VIN stamp is on the M20 transmission as well. So again, 100% numbers matching driveline, engine, transmission, and rear axle. Check out these bucket seats. Now, you know, most Chevelle and Chevrolet enthusiasts understand the 67 bucket seats had the side latch, where 66 didn't have a latch at all. You just pushed it forward. Nice original interior, which I'm really into. Nice original interior. I'm into nice original anything, but interior parts and on cars really strike my interest. So this car, especially if you're an Impala enthusiast, this is way up the ladder. One of the cream of the crop 67 Impalas. Whether you like the early 409s, the later 396, 427 style, like this car, this is definitely a nice 67 SS427 Impala, and it is for sale. Check the description of this video for the contact information for the owners to get in contact with them in order to arrange a time to come see this really nice 67 Impala, because this car will not last long, I can tell you. The owners are really nice people, but they don't mess around, and they're ready to sell this car, and this car won't last long. So I would be getting on it if I was an Impala enthusiast, and you know, getting more details and finding out, you know, come to an agreement on what exactly, how much the price is and what it's going to take to bring this car to a new home. Okay, let's move on to the 70 Chevelle, which is, of course, my overall favorite of all muscle cars. Like I said, this car was born Astro Blue with the dark blue top with the blue cloth interior. Really cool car. So let's go around this one. You see it does have the factory dome Super Sport hood still with the car. Of course, it is cranberry red now. The stripes are pretty much way off, but it is what it is. This car won't last long either. It does retain quite a bit of the original parts with this car. The engine is not the original engine, but this engine is healthy. I had a chance to drive this car. It's got aluminum heads, 454 in the car now. It was born at L34 396, but the car is very, very healthy. But you can focus real quick on some of the parts that we normally do. You can see it still has its original PD radiator, and it is born January of 70, which fits right in line with this car. Also, the fan is dated January of 70. 772 fan is correct for an air-conditioned L34 car. The radiator top plate survived and remained with this car as well. Of course, a lot of 70 Chevelle enthusiasts know that the 70 Chevelle on this side had no cutout, so that also is the correct. The 165 cut fan shroud still resides with this car, and the lower front radiator support is also still with this car. Really neat car. We got metal inner fenders because this car was born at the Kansas City, Missouri assembly plant, so it should have metal. The front tie bar is correct with no hood pin, no accessories, no provisions made for any hood pin at all. If you look on the firewall, which I have checked, there's no provision for Tach and Gauges, but there is the provision for the Turbo 400 kickdown switch, which is also correct for the car. And you can see the correct firewall insulation pockets for the early style domed Super Sport hood. Really nice Super Sport car. F41 suspension still remains. The VIN Turbo 400 transmission with the correct VIN CF transmission is still in this car. I have photos of that for any interested buyer. And also the CW rear axle 331 open rear axle is also still residing in this 70 Chevelle. So let's go over the cow tag pretty quick like we normally do. Give you an idea to make sure that you can at least see that. We see the 13637 in the Kansas City, Missouri. Like I told you, let's see if I can focus on this body number. It looks like 767690. It's not very good in focus. There's the 762 that I was telling you about. That's medium blue Revar cloth, bench seat interior, 25 for Astro Blue, and C for dark blue vinyl roof, and then 02D for the 4th week of February of 1970, and then the 0781 is a data processing number, and then the infamous L for the consensus, most people believe, for the Super Sport equipment. SS454s on this side, which have been changed. They were 396. The body on the car is really, really nice. I think one quarter panel has had some repair or a patch, and the other side is factory. So let's go into the interior. We got original dash with the correct bench seat on the column automatic selector still residing in the car. I do believe this car was born with the UM1 RPO UM1 AM 8-track stereo. It still has the dual speakers, correct dual speaker grills for a 70 Chevelle are still residing in the rear. Of course, we have black bucket seat interior in the car now. Really, really neat point is, I mean, if you're familiar with these parts, kind of like I am, been around these cars for so long, these reproduction covers appear to be recovered such a long time ago that I do believe these are USA 1, which are very, very close to the originals. And the tilt steering column in this car appears to be the factory one as well, where on the column provision was cut off and bondoed over. So let's start this car too. Should start. though it was moved to floor shift. Really healthy engine in this car now. Putting out probably 500 horsepower or more. Aluminum headed 454. Very healthy. So let's move around to the trunk area. I can show you the original rear glass is still intact with the car. Of course, the vinyl roof has been changed. It's not blue, it's black, so you know it's been changed. And we got some of the documentation back here in the trunk, just to show you some of the older photos. You can see that air cleaner is not correct. There's the red Challenger with the car. We got, what do we have over here? This is where this car had been dynoed. And there we go, 538. So just like I told you, this car definitely has well over 500 horsepower. I knew with being a 454 fairly healthy, it was putting out over 1-to-1 horsepower per cubic inch. And we got some more documentation here about some of the expenses that were paid. I believe this is some specs on the camshaft, the compression ratio, where the engine was rebuilt, and some other receipts and so forth and so on of some work that had been done to this car. Again, I can show you, I believe we have the markings on this quarter panel, and this one does not, and you can see where the factory spot wells are missing. So we got work to one quarter panel, and I think this one here is totally original. Just shot down this side has got some American Racing torque thrust on the car at this point. Of course, it's been added, the remote mirror on this side, and I do not believe this car was born with power windows, but it does have those now. And of course, with a blue car would have blue seat belts, and the seat belts are now black, so that has been changed also. Really nice 70 Chevelle. And those, you know, people that are in the 70 Chevelle market, like I stay in the market, you know, I'm helping people, assisting people, buying the cars myself, or helping people find the cars. So this car being a solid, nice running car, it won't last long either, especially with a really healthy 454. This is a muscle car, okay? I can tell you. If you're the type of person that you like high performance, this car here will definitely fit your needs. Now you can see it's got the cowl induction snorkel, which would be incorrect for a non-cowl induction hood car. But I believe I did a pretty good job of showing you under the hood of this car. Of course, you see the brake master cylinder and power booster both have been replaced. But I've had this car up on a lift as well, you know, and it has all the F41 suspension, like I said, and most of the components on the car are correct. You know, the transmission and the rear end are still the factory pieces for this car. So restored, this would be a very unique car if it was to go back to Astro Blue with a blue vinyl roof and blue cloth bench seat interior. Really unique. Now, real quick, everybody knows Dodge Challengers are not my cup of tea, but this car is also for sale, and it's really cool. I had a chance to drive this car as well, give you a little bit of some of the documentation on this. If you want to look over this Dodge Challenger, it was born with a 318 with the E5 red, bucket seats, vinyl, Touqueflite Automatic, 1973 318 Dodge Challenger. Here's the body broadcast that was found in one of the seats, and another document right here, and of course the title. Solid car. It's had some body work, but you know, if a person wanted to take or was looking for a car to say maybe fix one of those factory appearing drag race cars, or just, you know, a really cool muscle car to ride around in for, you know, and not kill your pocket, this will be a good car for you. a good starter car. So let's look at the vinyl roof right quick, which is still factory to the car. It's pretty solid for a vinyl roof car to be up in the Northeast majority of its life. Open the door here. Pretty nice 73 Dodge Challenger. Again, I don't authenticate those, so you know, this is a car that is going up for sale, so I did want to include it with the other two Chevrolets, which are, you know, are something that I travel around and study and authenticate on a regular basis. This is not my cup of tea, but I definitely want to show it to you. And I'll even show you the body tag for those of you that want to research or look any further. I get around here to where I'm pointing face up. There. Okay. Nice 1973 Dodge Challenger as well, coming up for sale. All three cars are for sale. Check the description for the contact information. Now, as you can see, this 67 Impala is the car that, of course, is going to bring the most money, of course, between these three cars, being so original and, you know, one of 2,124. So this definitely is the one that will be the most sought after, the most desirable of the three. The 70 Chevelle, of course, is the most desirable muscle car on the planet. But when you compare it to a car like this 67 Impala that is that original and that documented, then this car here will be the one that will be fetch the most dollars right there. This very nice Bolero red 1967 Chevelle. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video of these three nice muscle cars that are currently up for sale. Again, check the description of this video and reach out to the people. They're very nice people, and arrange a time to come visit, test drive one of these cars. And again, they won't last long. So if I were you, I would be contacting these people because they're going to sell these cars really, really fast. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you may have. My contact information will be listed with any of these three cars when they are listed on the internet for sale. If you have any technical information that you want to know, or you need any photos of the transmission or the driveline of the 70 Chevelle or this 67 Impala. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. More videos on the way.